Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Erin On D-Mand. I am Erin, and I will be sharing with you my experiences being a new notary in Illinois. Let's get started. What we're going to talk about today is where do I put my seal? When it comes to mortgage documents, most of the time you will have a place where it says notary. Or sometimes it could say person taking acknowledgement. So, which is you in that very moment, if you know that something is requesting acknowledgement from the signer on that very day, in that very moment, from their wet signature, you're going to go ahead and stamp and sign. If you read, uh, most of the times all you have to do is read the directions. It'll let you know if it's asking you to acknowledge that person, then that's you. Comes to non-mortgage documents, which is everything else under the sun if it's not a mortgage document. Wills, deeds, uh, if you have a power of attorney, or any other document that has a little space for your notarizing, then of course to put your seal and sign where it instructs you. Other than that, you're going to have to place your seal and your signature in on a blank part of the form. So if it's not a will or a deed or a power of attorney, you will have to find a place to put your seal and your signature. Make sure that your seal is on a blank part of the form. Make sure your seal and signature is not over any text. And if you, or over the signer's signature. If you don't have room for your seal or signature, I remember talking about this in my last video, then you'll need to please carry blank paper in your bag. You'll need to attach a blank piece of paper, a blank piece of copying paper, to the back of the document and sign and seal that blank piece of paper. Attach it to the back of the document. Now that document is one document. It's no longer two separate documents or two separate pieces of paper, but now it is one document. For an example, when I got out the Army, they only give you, all you veterans out there know, they only give you one copy of your DD 214 copy number 4. You may get other copies, but copy number 4, you only get one copy. And the lady told me, okay, make sure you don't lose this. So I didn't want to take any chances of losing the original one copy. So what I did was I took it to a notary, and she did exactly what I've just explained to you. There's absolutely no room on a DD form 214 for anything else. From angle to angle, top to bottom, from right to left, that document is completely covered with information. There's not even a centimeter of space for you to put anything. So what she did was the notary attached a blank copying piece of paper to the back of the document, and she sealed and signed. So now it was no longer one piece of paper. It was now a 2-page, one document. So it's very important to be prepared for something like that. I've had times where I didn't have room on the document. I've had times where I did have room on the document. I just had to find out where to put the seal and sign, and it works out. I've seen notaries not sign where their seal was. I've done that before, and I've followed up on my clients, and they said they were good to go, but I try to exercise signing where I seal. If it's a mortgage document, I've sealed because it's an entire packet. So they've seen my signature, my seal, and I've been told by the title company, it is better to sign and seal if you have any doubts than to not and have to go back. Because I remember a lady, she was really kind. She told me, you know, oftentimes if you're sealing a piece of paper, it's just easier for the title company to print out another one with no seal than to have it come back with no seal that needs a seal. So that was good information she gave me, and want to share it with you. Also, if you have not heard yet for this year 2020, please make sure that you are dating the entire date of 2020 on each and every document. And please remind your clients to also date the entire year. Do not abbreviate 20. Please, the entire year needs to be written out 2020, because more activities, illegal activities can happen if you leave that open. And even when they're doing cash to close for your closing documents, please ask the person to complete that last 20 and not leave that open. Not leave it as just 20, but the entire year 2020. I've had to kindly remind people to do that on their checks. I said, it's not just us being notaries, but you also, this whole year, if you're writing a check, put it 2020. So I've actually, when I go over my documents again, I always go over 2 or 3 times. I make sure that I don't miss any signatures. I'd say half the time when I go over again throughout each and every piece of paper one at a time, even if it's over 200 pages, one at a time. When I go over that, I'm looking to see if I and the client has signed every single space that needs to be signed and that the date is correct, 2020. And I've found spaces that I had not signed, and also the client, and I've also had me and that person go back through the entire document. Up, can you add that 20 there? Add this 20 here. Make sure the date is complete. That's very important. And also, coming into talking about fraudulent activity, make sure the client does show you ID. Make sure the ID says their name, who they are, is their picture. And I've had instances where I have 2 different people that I'm looking at IDs. One is signing, the other one is signing something different. Their father and son, it was so easy to get them mixed up because number one, they look alike. Their names are a little bit different. But so make sure you ask the person their ID, make sure it's the correct person, and make sure you know the visible signs of what a fraudulent identification piece looks like. Also, please be knowledgeable of all of the rules, regulations, and anything that has to do with notarizing within the state of Illinois, because it's your commission on the line, not their signature. So Oftentimes, people want to get by with being a notary without paying for errors and omissions insurance. Being a new notary, I would say just if you can't afford even $5,000 for 4 years, errors and omissions insurance, I would say wait, because that insurance covers the signer. I would say if you can't get any kind of insurance, wait until you can, because that's your commission on the line, not their signature. Title companies, do I how did I get my direct escrow with title companies? What I did was I searched title companies in my area. Some of them are easy, excuse me, some of them are easy to apply for because it's right on their site. Some of them, it's you're digging for people to contact. And then when you find that person, the place to contact to apply has nothing to do with that website. So you're going from site to site. So you're like digging for information on how to apply. Now, when it comes to title companies, you have to fill out their application. You have to send in your EO insurance. You have to prove you have errors and omissions insurance. You have to send in your commission. You also have to send in your tax information, your W-9. And they have a list according to what title company it is. They have a list on what you are supposed to send them. It all depends. And now, if you're ready to apply for title companies, you're going to need EO insurance. Also, these title companies, you're going to need to prove to them. A lot of newbies, they don't want to go through. They don't want to go through training because it's not mandatory in the state of Illinois. Fine. They don't want EO insurance. Get it if you can. And they also don't want a background check. It's not mandatory. Now, Illinois does do a brief screening, a background screening before they issue your commission, but the NNA does offer a complete background check. And every title company that I have applied for and that I have gotten business from, or that I'm now signed up with, they require EO insurance, the NNA background check, the NNA test exam certification. Like, you have to upload this to prove that you have what you're saying you have. You can't just say, oh, I have this. They require this. So these are some things to think about. If you don't want to go through all this, perhaps you just want to be a notary and not a loan signing agent, that's fine. But remember to at least know your laws, your rules, and regulations for Illinois, because even though you may not have that your client's signature covered, you don't want to get in trouble by not being abreast and not being knowledgeable. Okay, you're a notary, so it's not something to take so lightly as to not train, or if you have the funds, or to train, or to not be abreast. Regardless if you're going to train or not, you need to be abreast of the rules, the regulations, and the laws. Jesse White has a notary handbook for the state of Illinois that you need to overlook and go over that to be knowledgeable. So again, regarding title companies, some title companies require only 5,000 EO insurance. Some title companies want 25,000, and all depending on how much business you want. Some title companies require 100,000 EO insurance. That's not how much you're going to pay, but once you see a title company now title companies, again, being a loan signing agent, there are agencies my pinky, agencies or escrow direct. You can do either or you can do both, all depending on how broad you want to span your brand. So I hope this helps in regards to applying to title companies. And let's see what we got next. Thank you so much for joining me again, Erin On D-Mand, where I, Erin, share with you my experiences, my personal experiences. I would love to hear from you. Please leave all comments, questions, what you would like to see next in the comment section below. And until our next video, bye.